Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11,
10.
Text 10. Katam vayam natha chirosite tvayi
Katam vayam nata tirosite tvayi.
prasanna dristya kilatapa soshanam
Prasanna dristya kila tapaso shasanam.
jive mate sundara hasa sobhitam
Jive mate sundara sobitam.
apasyamana vadanam manoharam
Apasyamana vadanam manoharam.
iti chodirita vachaha prajanam bhakta vatsala Shrinvano nugraha kristya vitanvan pravisatpuram.
Katam vayam nata chirosite tvayi.
Khatam vayam nata chirosite tvayi
Prasanna dristya kilatapasoshanam.
prasanna dristya kilatapa soshanam
Jive mate sundarahasa shobhitam.
jive mate sundara hasa shobhitam
Apasyamana vadanam manoharam.
apasyamana vadanam manoharam
Iti chodirita vachaha.
iti chodirita vachaha
Prajanam bhakta vatsala. Shrinvano anugraham dristya. Vitanvan
pravisyat puram. Translation. Katham, how, vayam, we, nata, O Lord, chirosite, being abroad almost always, tvayi, by you, prasanna, satisfaction, dristya, by the glance, akila, universal, tapa, miseries, shoshanam, vanquishing, jivema, shall be able to live, te, your, sundara, beautiful, hasa, smiling, shobhitam, decorated, apashyamana, without seeing, vadanam, face, manoharam, attractive, iti, thus, cha, and udirita, speaking, vacha, words, prajana, of the citizens, bhakta vatsala, kind to the devotees, shrinvana, thus learning, anugraham, kindness, dristya, by glances, vitanvan, distributing, pravisat, enter, puram, Dwarakapuri. Translation. O Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who was very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwaraka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. Purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate separation from him. Why is this so? Because we are all eternally related with him, as the sun rays are eternally related with the sun disk. The sun rays are molecular parts of the solar radiation. Thus, the sun rays and the sun cannot be separated. The separation by the cloud is temporary and artificial, and as soon as the cloud is cleared, the sun rays again display their natural effulgence in the presence of the sun. Similarly, the living entities who are molecular parts of the whole spirit are separated from the Lord by the artificial covering of Maya, illusory energy. The illusory energy or the curtain of Maya has to be removed, and when it is so done, the living entity can see the Lord face to face, and all his miseries are at once removed. Every one of us wants to remove the miseries of life, but we do not know how to do it. The solution is given here, and it rests on us to assimilate it or not.
Or not. Oh, wait. Do it or don't. Wow.
It's on you.
How many times have you heard that in Christianity?
Oh Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwaraka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vichrakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate
Bhakti-vedanta Swami Namane.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishya Sunyavadi Paschatya Devamare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So we are reading today and discussing from Canto 1, chapter 11, verse 10, where Krishna is entering into Dwaraka. Today is the last day of year 2025. And it feels like I was just discussing with devotees the last day of 2024. And here it is already the last day of 2025. Time waits for nobody.
Right.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, the time I am, time is one of Krishna's energies. And so for a materialist, the passing of time can be a bewildering experience, because time does not wait for anybody. And people reminisce about the past, how at one time their bodies were young and filled with youth and vitality. And with the passage of time, their senses are dulled, the body becomes weak, their energy is sapped. So the passage of time can be a bewildering experience for one who does not understand the nature of time and its influence upon all living entities. But for one who has taken shelter of Krishna, the passage of time is nothing but one step closer to the lotus feet of the Lord. While for a materialist, every rising and setting of the sun is one day closer to death. For a devotee, it's simply one day closer
To death.
to his union with his beloved Lord. So while for a materialist, the rising and setting of the sun signifies one day closer to death, for a devotee, it is simply one day closer to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So the passage of time does not affect them. For devotees, this is actually a blessing, because time, rather than having a bewildering experience, it actually casts light on the temporary nature of things in this world. And when we understand the temporary nature of things in this world, it motivates us to go deeper in seeking shelter of Krishna. Tonight, there will be many people all over the world wishing each other a happy New Year. In the past, every year people have wished each other a happy New Year on New Year's Eve. But for many of them, it was not such a happy New Year. People go out to drink and party. And some of them never make it home. So just minutes earlier, they may have wished somebody a Happy New Year. Someone may have wished them in return a Happy New Year. But they never make it home. They die in a car accident or some mishap of some kind. So what is really a New Year? What is really happiness? What is auspiciousness? Everyone wishes to start the New Year on an auspicious note. So what really is auspicious? I remember growing up and I was sharing this with some devotees in a Bhakti Vriksha where I gave class a few weeks ago. In India, I grew up in India, and there are so many customs and beliefs. So one time I was stepping out of my house to go somewhere and I tripped right at the doorstep. So immediately my mother, who was at the door to send me off, she called me back in. And she made me sit and drink some water. So I asked why. And she said, because you tripped just while stepping out. It is considered inauspicious. Do you do that in your home state? Same principle? You're made to sit and drink some water?
Really?
Yes.
What's the water? What's the point?
If you find out the answer, please let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
wow.
I never understood it.
But yeah,
It does make sense though.
I mean, falling out, I can see how that would be disrespectful. But I guess because water purifies.
Possible, but I asked why, nobody gave me a convincing answer. And because there are so many such customs, I just simply went with it because I did not know any better. But years later, a dear high school friend of mine, he introduced me to this timeless practice of Krishna consciousness. And then I started challenging my mother. I said, tripping while leaving the house, you say is inauspicious, maybe so. But how is sitting down and drinking some water auspicious? We drink water every day. If the mere mundane act of drinking water signifies auspiciousness, then entire planet Earth, Mother Earth, is nothing but auspicious because every living entity is drinking water. The snake drinks water, but he's considered to be such an envious species of life. But the snake drinks water. The tigers and the lions which hunt other animals, they drink water, we drink water. If merely drinking water is auspiciousness, then everywhere there is only auspiciousness, then how can tripping be inauspicious? So then the scripture, there's a very beautiful verse which we chant prior to accepting formally and initiating spiritual master. Appavitra pavitrova sarvamastam gatopiva yasmaret pundarikaksham sabbahya abhayantara suchihi. Whatever condition of life one may be in, whatever conditions one may have been through, whether auspicious or inauspicious, one who simply remembers the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, immediately at once becomes purified within and without. So what is real inauspiciousness? Is tripping inauspicious? The Vishnu Puran says that forgetting Lord Krishna for even a moment, that is the greatest misfortune in human life. Even if we forget Krishna for one moment, it is the greatest misfortune. So real inauspiciousness really is not tripping, and auspiciousness is not really drinking water. Forgetting Krishna, forgetting our eternal relationship with Him, that is inauspicious. Whereas for one who can at every moment remember the Lord, that is all auspicious. So for those devotees for those people who ring in the new year thinking about Krishna, meditating on the Lord's pastimes, chanting the holy names in the association of devotees, or reading Shrimadbhagavatam or hearing Shrimadbhagavatam, any of the 9 processes of devotional service, one who brings in the new year through any one of these processes, that is the most auspicious new year. My senior god brother, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, in a lecture, he was describing how in a prison, it was the birthday of one of the inmates. So they were cutting a cake and they were wishing each other, even they were wishing him a very happy birthday. And there was a nice big party. And they were all very happy. But the warden, the jailer, he was standing by at a distance looking down upon these guys and thinking, he was thinking these people are celebrating a party, but they're all locked up in the walls of a prison. And they are wishing each other, they're wishing a happy birthday. What kind of a birthday is that?
Yeah.
Locked within the 4 walls. These people belong to free society, but they are locked for some reason, for some certain crimes, within the walls of the prison house. So our situation is not much different. If we forget the true purpose of human life and engage in celebrations, which tonight much of the world will be doing, but actually in the prison house of Durga Devi, we do not even belong here. This is not our home. But thinking we are these bodies, and the goal of these bodies is to find happiness in whatever way possible throughout the world. People will be celebrating tonight, just looking for happiness. This happiness will elude them for as long as they look for it in the wrong places. We have discussed in previous Bhagavatam classes the example of the musk deer. The musk deer, he wanders all around the forest because in the air he can smell the fragrance of musk. Attracted by that fragrance, he wanders here and there all over the forest looking for that source, of that fragrance. All day, all afternoon, he wanders, walks miles and miles, but he never finds it because he's looking for it in a place he'll never find. His own body is the source of that musk fragrance. Yet, he's looking for the source externally. So he will search forever and never find it. As long as people search for fulfillment and contentment in external sources, it may be a birthday, it may be a new year, it may be an Independence Day, but that happiness and joy they find in external sources will be very short-lived and will not fulfill the craving of their heart. Shrimadbhagavatam teaches us to look inward, to connect with the essence of who we really are. And when we do that, we find not only unlimited happiness, but complete fulfillment and satisfaction. This particular verse, the citizens of Dwarka are looking eagerly for Krishna's darshan. If you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. This is a very interesting verse because this verse is almost a reflection of Maharani Kunti Devi's prayer to Krishna. As Krishna is leaving Hastinapur, the citizens of Hastinapur gathered around Krishna, their hearts broken because they are about to lose the association of Krishna. And Maharani Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, she offered this beautiful prayer. Vipadaha santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yadsaya apuna bhavadarsanam. Srila Prabhupada is very fond of this prayer. Mother Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, is praying, let there be calamities in my life. This is incredible. Because every one of us is looking for a way to avoid calamity at any cost. But Mother Kunti is praying to Krishna, let calamities come again and again in my life. Because as we read in the pages of Shrimadbhagavatam, when there was calamity in the lives of the Pandavas and their mother Kunti, due to the evil schemes of the wicked Duryodhana and his brothers and their father Dhritarashtra, there were several calamities in the lives of the Pandavas, but Lord Krishna appeared to protect them. Whenever there was a calamity, Lord Krishna protected them. So Mother Kunti prays, let there be calamities in my life. Because when there is a calamity, you will appear to protect us and we will receive your darshan. And having darshan of your beautiful transcendental form means no more darshan of repeated birth and death. So, being able to appreciate the form of the Lord, the form of the deity for us is such a wonderful opportunity, because taking darshan of the Lord and engaging in worship means the opportunity to no longer suffer from repeated birth and death. That is the goal of human life, to understand who we are. To understand who we are, to understand who Krishna is, and our eternal relationship with Him. As explained by Srila Prabhupada, in this verse, we are eternally related to Krishna, just as the sun rays are eternally related with the sun. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All the living entities, regardless of species, are my eternal fragmented parts and parcels. So just as one cannot separate the sun's rays from the sun, one cannot separate the living entities from Krishna. And any separation is artificial. And Srila Prabhupada uses a brilliant example. When the clouds cover the sun momentarily, we are unable to see the sun, but the sun is still there. The sun rays are still there. And when the clouds blow away, once again we see the sun in all its glory. Because of association with matter, we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. But the relationship is there. It simply needs to be revived by this process of regular reading and hearing of Shrimadbhagavatam, chanting the holy names, associating with devotees. We can revive that lost relationship with Krishna. We are sitting here today because of the sacrifices and contributions of this great Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, who more than 60 years ago set sail for the Western lands to bring us the timeless message of Shrimadbhagavatam. We have heard many times on his voyage to the United States, he suffered 2 heart attacks. And when he finally arrived on the shores of this nation, he did not know whether to turn right or to turn left. Can you imagine, even in the year 2025, if we found ourselves somewhere, we didn't know whether to turn left or to turn right, it would cause us so much anxiety. Yes, even though we have credit cards, a cell phone, if you had to go someplace, you don't know whether to turn left or right. It is such a anxious position to be in. And this was in 1965. There were no cell phones. There were no credit cards, I believe, back in 1965. And Srila Prabhupada arrived here with rupees 40, which I think in those days was about $4 or $6, something to that effect. And he had no friends. He didn't know whether to turn right or left. Those were the kind of sacrifices he made just so that you and I could be sitting here today discussing Shrimadbhagavatam. And what is the power of the verses, of the message contained within Shrimadbhagavatam? Sripad Shankaracharya, in his treatise Bhaja Govindam, there is a very beautiful verse. Bhagavad Gita Kinchitadita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sahridapiyena Murari Samarsha Kriyate Tasya Yamena Charcha. That if one has even read but one verse of Bhagavad Gita, there are about 700 verses in the Bhagavad Gita. If one, even once, has read one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, if one has consumed even one drop of water from the Ganges river, if one has chanted Krishna's holy names, even once, offenselessly, just once, for such a person will never come face to face with the Yamadutas. Can you imagine the power of Bhagavad Gita? Whatever you may have been in your life, whatever sinful activities you may have committed, if you have just read one verse sincerely, Sripad Shankaracharya, he says, Adi Shankara, he says, you will not have to come face to face with the Yamadutas. Can you imagine how many people have been saved from this terrible fate because this great Acharya made so many sacrifices to come give this message to the Western world. All over the world, so many millions of copies of Bhagavad Gita have been distributed in so many different languages. Now those people would otherwise have no access to Krishna's name or to Krishna's message. But by the sacrifices of Srila Prabhupada and our previous Acharyas, now throughout the whole world, there is hope. There is hope. in human life. There is hope for people to find the purpose of their life and achieve the true goal of human life. If not for the efforts of Srila Prabhupada, it is very conceivable that none of us would be discussing Shrimadbhagavatam in our lives. Very few people would have found this message. It was only available to a small, limited number of people. But Srila Prabhupada, he saw the potential in living entities to love Krishna. And that is what motivated him to make such sacrifices for us. One time Srila Prabhupada's disciple asked him, Srila Prabhupada, I have no qualification. So how is it that I'm practicing Krishna consciousness? Srila Prabhupada said, you have no qualification. I made your qualification. So Srila Prabhupada's sacrifices, those are the greatest blessings upon us. Those are the qualifications that now allow us to sit here and discuss Shrimadbhagavatam. This is the greatest good fortune. So as we end the year 2025 and bring in the year 2026, what better way than by sitting here in Sri Devasadan Mandir discussing this timeless, all auspicious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Srila Prabhupada so mercifully delivered to us in the form of his purports that have cast out the ignorance from the lives of so many people and given them eternal hope. Some months ago, I was in a discussion on the phone with a very dear high school friend of mine, who I'm very close to this day, who introduced me to this philosophy and practice of bhakti in ISKCON. So I was expressing my gratitude to him, telling him how it was because of him that today I'm chanting Hare Krishna and serving Kunjabihari, associating with devotees. And he just replied with 2 words. He said, Prabhupada magic.
Okay.
He gave all credit to Srila Prabhupada. And indeed, it is magic. One time a reporter, she asked Srila Prabhupada, there are many godmen who have come from India. There are many godmen in India and some of them perform miracles. So what is your miracle? Can you perform some miracle? And Srila Prabhupada pointed to his disciples and followers. And he said, this is the miracle. These people who are addicted to meat eating, to intoxication, to illicit sex, to gambling, now they have given up all these habits. Now they are engaged in pure devotion to Krishna. This is the greatest miracle. And actually it is such a fascinating thing. I grew up in India, and even growing up in India, to be a devotee of Krishna in a bona fide sampradaya, in a bona fide disciplic succession, is quite rare. India, yes, India has over 1 billion people, and how many devotees are there? Very small percentage. In fact, until I came in contact with the philosophy of ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada, I did not know that Krishna was the personality of Godhead. Same? Likewise, yes.
We
Testimony.
Thought like Krishna is avatar of Lord Vishnu. as it is portrayed for us in like many like ways, like through stories or through cinemas or something.
And even Lord Vishnu himself is only considered one of three gods, Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. And even though we celebrated Janmashtami at home every year, I didn't have the slightest idea that Krishna was the personality of Godhead.
Wow.
And we never heard of the name Chaitanya or Nityananda.
Wow. I figured it'd be just the opposite.
What's that?
I figured it would be just the opposite.
No. Large majority of people have not even heard the names Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. But now ISKCON has established so many temples and centers. The movement is spreading far and wide. The family of Vaishnavas is expanding. If not for Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and some of our acharyas in our line, the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya would have forever eluded us. But not only are we engaged in worship of Gaur Nitai now, but the supreme mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, we understand the nature of true love, the love of the Brajbasis. Lord Chaitanya, he revealed this to the whole world, but it was only available to a little small select group of people. But now, thanks to the efforts of ISKCON and other similar organizations, this has now become so widely accessible to the people of the world. So how fortunate we are. Even though it is available to the entire world, it is like the sun shining. The sun is shining upon all the people of the world, but if somebody closes his eyes and decides not to look at it, then he will not be able to experience the light of the sun. Likewise, this philosophy, this practice is made available to everybody throughout the world. It is for us to accept it. And Srila Prabhupada writes towards the end of the purport, this illusory energy or the curtain of Maya has to be removed, and when it is so done, the living entity can see the Lord face to face and all his miseries are at once removed. Every one of us wants to remove the miseries of life, but we do not know how to do it. The solution is given here, and it rests on us to assimilate it or not. So the solution has been provided for the whole world to find true peace and true happiness and fulfillment. It is up to us to assimilate it or not. So on this occasion of the New Year's Eve, let us make a resolution to assimilate this timeless practice of bhakti to the best of our abilities, leaving aside any disagreements that we may have. Disagreements are inevitable because in this world, every single person is unique. We all have our personalities, characteristics. There will be disagreements. There will be differences of opinion. If there isn't a disagreement or a difference of opinion, then something is wrong. There will always be differences of opinions. But Krishna consciousness means to cooperate for a higher principle, to work cooperatively for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. So we can have our disagreements, we can have our opinions, but through it all, we must find a way to cooperate for a higher principle. Srila Prabhupada, he said, your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate amongst yourselves. So if we really wish to please Prabhupada, it is easy to say, I love my Guru Maharaj, I love Prabhupada, I love Kunjabiya. It is very easy to say. But if we really love them, we must be willing to do whatever is necessary to please them. And if working cooperatively brings pleasure to our spiritual master and to Krishna, then we must be willing to do whatever it takes to work cooperatively. Because when Guru is pleased, when Krishna is pleased, then the goal of human life becomes achieved. Then all our endeavors find perfection. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. The perfection of our endeavors is when Lord Hari is pleased. So in this mood we welcome the new year, and I look forward to another year serving with such exalted and wonderful devotees such as yourselves. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any suggestions, comments, or would like to chastise me for anything I said.
This is a very nice talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for the nice class.
Thank you. Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.